What do you get when you combine space-age technology, military intelligence, and all the innovation that the auto industry can come up with? You get this, the GMC Hummer. This is a full-size, probably the biggest truck on the road, power truck, 1,000 horsepower, powered by GM's Ultium battery technology, which is the foundation. It's underneath the base of this truck, and it can do some incredible things, including road trip through Texas, which is what we did with it, driving about 350 miles over the course of a day and a half. We had to stop to charge a couple of times, but we also had to stop and play with this truck, which is really, really fun and really showcases all of the ingenious innovation that GM has to offer in electric vehicles. Despite being an EV, this is a full-size truck and a power truck at that. So it starts with all the things that you expect. It's got a high hood line. It has this light bar here across the front that spells out the name Hummer. There's a little air intake here because batteries do need air intake. And then there are tow hooks or recovery hooks right down here. So if you need to pull something out of the muck, that 1,000 horsepower motor, not engine, is there to do it for you. This is a tall boy. When it comes to driving the Hummer, to get the most out of your battery, you want to put it down in L. So you pull the drive selector twice and put it in L for low. And that gives you the most regenerative value that the car can produce, with the exception of pulling this left paddle, which I can actually lift my foot off the accelerator and pull this left paddle and come to a complete stop. And that is how GMC achieves regenerative braking in the Hummer. And it's quite good. I have found that I'm actually able to get a lot more out of the battery, and then going down a hill like this hill that we're about to drive down, I can actually just sort of gently nudge the accelerator to drive down the hill, and I will not use any battery power getting down this hill, which is pretty nice. You can also put it into drive mode, regular drive mode, and then you feel the engine or you feel the motor kind of pick up, but it feels much more like a natural gas motor or gas engine. But with the regenerative braking on in low mode, you are maximizing how much power you're saving and minimizing how much power you're using, which is pretty nice. So another thing that's a first for GMC, and also new to a lot of cars that you'll see in a lot of cars, is this. Hey Google, set the cabin temperature to 68 degrees.
Sure, changing the temperature to 68 degrees.
It does those hardwired functions like changing the cabin temperature, setting the radio, and then also navigation. And then there are other things it can do. Hey Google, navigate to the closest barbecue restaurant.
All right, Bert's Barbecue. Let's go.
So it's nice that you can do things like that. There's a technology in this car. This is the first edition or edition 1 Hummer, and there's a technology in here that is phenomenal that General Motors has gotten a lot of great reception from, and that is called Super Cruise. So I'm going to show you how Super Cruise works. You'll be able to see some of the icons here in the driver information screen. So first of all, Super Cruise needs to be used on a highway like the one we're on, which is a limited access highway. And the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to turn on your adaptive cruise control and make sure that your lane keep assist is on and active. If it's not on and active, which is the button is over here. If your lane keep assist is not on and active, then Super Cruise won't work. So you turn on your adaptive cruise, and then you tap this little button that has the steering wheel and lines, and that is Super Cruise. And this says Super Cruise is on, and you can see the steering wheel here is green, and then you see this green light here. And that means that I can drive hands-free in this car as long as the road conditions allow. So now you see here it's blue, and I don't know if you just noticed there, but there also was an indicator that showed that it was safe to change lanes. So now this is auto lane change. So I just tapped the indicator, tapped the turn signal, and all of a sudden, there it is. Now we are cruising in Super Cruise. We did the automatic lane change, and we're cruising in Super Cruise. Now I will tell you, I used this quite a bit yesterday, and if you don't have your hands on the wheel for a period of time, the system will come on and prompt you to put your hands on the wheel. It is watching everything around you. It's watching these cars, it's watching the lanes on the road, it sees everything, and it's letting you know where you're safe and where it's comfortable giving you guidance. And if it's not guiding you, then it's going to flash red on the screen and give you that warning to take control of the steering wheel. But I drove about 225 miles yesterday, mostly using Super Cruise, and it was pretty awesome. I can just drive like this, and I got no complaints. Now I've just driven about 4 miles. I'm going to see if I can get back to having used 0 electricity for that 4-mile drive. So that was 3.5 miles that took me 0 miles.
Make a U-turn
to get to. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we've reached our destination. We left Cat Mountain Drive with 200 miles on the range. We're down to 198 miles, and we drove 5 miles. So under the right conditions, the Hummer's battery system can actually be quite efficient. The Hummer is a tall girl, and she is smart. So when you approach, it knows that you have the key in the pocket. You just push this little button here, and the door unlocks if it's been locked. And one thing that I've really appreciated during my test drive is the running board and also the handhold here, the grip, because you need both of those to hoist yourself into the front seat. This car is tall, and guess what? You can make it taller. It can rise to up to 16 inches above ground, which is really tall, really great for driving over things. But listen to this. All you hear is Hollywood lights and magic. There is no rumble and roar of an engine because this is electric. Now it's beeping at me because it knows the door is open. Inside the Hummer, you'll find all the amenities, features, and details that you are used to and that we expect in a luxury car like this. But it's a little different because there are a lot of lightweight and plastic materials. That's because this car weighs almost 10,000 pounds, about 9,500 pounds. A third of that is the battery. Well, in order to get 325 miles of range out of this car, it really needed to have those space-age materials. So you'll find there are these lightweight materials. There may be plastic or some sort of composite that cover the phone charging cubby and the cup holders. You'll find them here. You'll find some materials that look like they're metal, but they're actually not. They're plastic. These screens, which are glass and maybe even not glass, maybe a plastic material as well. So a lot of lightweight materials. And then even on the seats and on the surface covers, you'll find a woven vinyl and perforated vinyl It looks and feels like leather, but it's actually not. It's a woven vinyl. The model that we're in has this black and white treatment. It's very elegant. I really like the way it looks, and it very much complements the black and white exterior of our test Hummer. Another thing I'm going to show you are these. Again, plastic, so you can hear that, but these are the roof panels, and they all come off. There are buttons here for volume control, to put the volume up and down, and on the other side there are buttons that allow you to change the radio station right there, so you can change the station up or down, which is pretty nice. It's nice to have those buttons right at your fingertips. Next to the cup holders there is an armrest. There's a nice spot here, which is another great place for a phone. And then there is a nice deep armrest here with a tray, so something that we've gotten used to in our trucks. There is another power outlet here, so it's a 12 volt there, and a little light so you can see what's in there. That's a nice touch. I want you to notice this rear view mirror. I'm holding the camera right in front of it, and you can't see it because this is a live view video monitor that monitors the rear of the truck. So if I flip it, then you do get the reflective image, but if I flip it back, you get the video image. I have been driving with this video image all week long, and I really, really like it. And the reason I think is because it's so far, it's more than an arm's length from me. It's very easy to focus on this mirror and the road and switch my eyes back and forth. And that's not always the case. Often that mirror is much closer to me, but because this truck is so big, the mirror is set pretty far away. So I really have enjoyed that. And I'm also less tempted to tilt the mirror down to fix my hair or lipstick. I'm more likely to use this mirror just because it's easier to reach than that one is. Up here, there's some other functions. You have OnStar here, which is something that we find in all GM cars. There are buttons here for the dome lights, and then there's this guy, and I'm going to show you what this does. It rolls down that rear window. The rear window rolls all the way down or all the way up. And check this out. It has 3 windshield wipers. But one of the most talked about features in this car is WTF mode. What the heck is that? Watts to Freedom. Let me show you. So Watts to Freedom starts with the car in drive. So you want to put it in drive. Starts with the car in drive, foot on the brake, and then you double tap the traction control button. You will get a rumble on the seat, and this icon will come up. You'll hear the sound, and then you have to confirm that you want Watts to Freedom, which is basically a launch control or drag style launch. So then you tap continue here, and now the vehicle will lower, and once it is lowered to the safe height for launch, which you should do, must do, on a closed road with no traffic, and it says brake harder. Now it is in launch mode. It's ready to go. I can feel a rumble on the seat here. I don't know if you can hear that. Hear that? And it's telling me to floor it. I'm not going to do it because there's a wall right there, and I am not on a closed road, but this will give me all 1,000 horsepower ready to go. So it's telling me to floor it. Now if I ease up on the brake, it'll tell me to brake harder, and it's ready to go. Exclusively designed for this car, and it kind of looks like blueprints that you might find on at a builder's or contractor's desk. So up here, you'll see there is the Hummer icon right there. And this is your off-roading. So there are other ways to reach your off-roading commands, and I'll show you that. Here is your multi-view camera. So you have different views that you can choose. There's the view from looking in the back of the truck bed. Here is the lower side. So these are underneath the side mirrors. And then this is looking down from the, this is basically for trailering. And then these are your multi-views forward and rear. So that's looking out the back, and this is looking out the front of the truck. You can also clean the undercarriage camera. There's a camera that shows you underneath the vehicle, and you tap this and you get a little spritz of water to clean that camera lens too. I like that the camera icon is right here, so it's always at your fingertips, which you need in a truck this big. Here is your projection phone. I don't have my phone connected, so we're going to not use that. Navigation, so Google is the built-in system here, and so it's all, if you use Google Maps, this looks very familiar. Here is your music, and here is your home, and this is where some of the key functions are. So Google Play is here. There is Apple CarPlay, so you can use Google Play, you can use Android Auto, or you can use Apple CarPlay. So you can see, actually, I don't have it connected, but there's the Apple CarPlay icon there. This one's really important because this is an EV. You want to be as efficient as you can, and actually it's kind of fun. I'll show you how you can be super efficient, but it's very fun. So you can condition the battery for fast charging so it charges faster. You can precondition the cabin temperature, and you can set your preferred charging times. So this allows you to, if you want to charge, you'll also be able to do this with the app, but if you want to charge, say, at 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. when the rates are cheaper, you can absolutely do that. Another thing that you'll find is over here, there are multiple screens, so you can select what you want to see. So I set this to show the clock, but there are your tire pressure ratings, and then here's your trailer connect, your music. There are, all of those functions are here too. So you have off-road there, you have off-road here, trailering, rear climate. So you could set the climate here for rear seat passengers. If you've got kids in car seats, that's a great thing to have. Here are your vehicle settings. So here is where you're able to set up things however you'd like to have them set. This is crab walk. So you tap this, I'll show you, you tap this once, and it shows you that you have, you can turn on rear wheel steering, tap it again. You can have only front wheel steering, which is normal, but that is not actually crab walk. Crab walk is you just hold that button down for a few seconds, and you see the crab walk icon coming onto the multimedia screen. And then you'll also see over here, the little crab icon stays lit on the driver information screen, and that lets you know that you are in crab walk mode. To turn off crab walk mode, you just tap that little button again, and it's all gone, and you're back to 2 or 4 wheel steering, however you would like to operate. The Hummer is a pickup truck, and typical of pickup trucks, the back seat has a lot of function. So before I hop in to show you, I'll show you this. The seat does flip up, so you have lots of space here if you need to put larger linear things in. And then there's a little lip here in the floor mat that allows you to even store some things in here that won't roll around. Now, let's talk about passenger comfort, because we have a lot of that too. So using the running board to hop in and the grip bar, which is important, let's talk about where to put this guy. So you have some options. There is a cup holder here, and in this fold down armrest, you can actually get 2 bottles, and then there's even a space for something here. You could put a phone or something else there in the center. Lots of space in the armrest. There is a bottle pocket here in the door, and then there's actually a bottle pocket here, which is I like because it's really at hand height. It's where your hand would naturally fall. Among the other function in here, the center console that has a shelf where you can put a phone or something. You could put a bottle of water in there very tightly. You could put it in there. There is a fan, temperature, auto, and different modes. You have the vents here. These are the only vents in the rear seat, so if you need more air than these provide, you might want to ask the front seat passengers to reposition those vents. This little shelf, 2 USB-C ports, and a household outlet here behind this little door. As we appreciate with pickup trucks, there's a lot of legroom. So I'm 5'8", I've got plenty of legroom here. It's a nice deep bench, so that lets you sit back and really relax. I've got a lot of headroom, and then there's seating for 5 passengers. So I can slide over. I will say, as the 5th passenger in this middle seat, it's not super roomy and not super comfortable. Better for short trips than long trips. Definitely not road tripping in this seat if I'm a full-size human. These Bose speakers, which are really nice. Then there are child car seat latches here and on both outboard seats, but not the center seat. In the center, there are more cup holders. So if you need more cup holders or you want to put something in there, a phone or something, you've got some space there. One thing that I do like about this is there is storage in these little pockets here in the seat back. So it's a nice sized storage compartment. You can fit some larger things in there, a tablet, maybe a very small laptop. You can fit a few things in there. It's nice storage to have in the seat back, but this tab makes it pretty clear that that's what's there. Well, they also gave you the option to hide this little tab, so you can just tuck it in there, and then it's not so obvious that that's storage. And I also like how this tucks in here, and how this was made with such quality. It's stitched here. It looks pretty solid. It doesn't look like one of those things that after using it a bit kind of gets stuck between the seats. You never see it again. This looks like it will be functional for a long time because it's well made. Nice job on the rear seat. We road tripped through Texas, driving about 350 miles from North Texas down to Central Texas. We had to stop to charge a couple of times. It was really easy to find DC fast chargers, though we did have to spend a little time there. I spent about an hour and 15 minutes at one, charging about 175 miles in that hour and 15 minutes. That was at a 120 kilowatt charge station. There are 350 kilowatts, which will reduce your charge time considerably, giving you 80% in something like 40 minutes or maybe even less. So pretty good, pretty standard for 350 miles of range. Pretty awesome. You'll notice the Hummer name spelled out across the lift gate, and then the GMC badge here. You don't see a lot of GMC badging in here because the name really is Hummer. But one thing that GMC does contribute to this is the multifunction lift gate. So you can open this part, the inner gate, just to reach in and grab something, or you can use the full multifunction, which is here. First of all, we're going to retract the cover to fully open the top of the bed. This is a feature that GMC rolled out with the Edition 1. And then we're going to lower the lift gate, and then we're going to open that inner lift gate by pushing that button again. And then you can push this down, and you have not only a step that allows you access into the bed, but there also are speakers here, and there's a USB and an auxiliary port, so you can pipe music into these speakers, and there are controls here. So you can have your phone up in the front, you can control the volume here, and then you can have your Yeti with all of your cool beverages right here in the back of the pickup truck. Perfect for tailgating. And that's what we want from a truck. There is also a grab bar that pulls out here and just pops up. So you can grab this for hopping into the truck bed, and then just retract it back like this, and it pops right back into place. Pretty nifty. Ta-da! Another feature that they are including on the first edition model is this retractable bed cover or tonneau cover. So this retracts into a storage unit there that's embedded there, and you'll see there is a yellow tab there in the corner, and what that is an emergency release. So if someone gets stuck in here, all they have to do is pull that and the bed will fold down. So that's a nice safety feature. You do need a little muscle to do that. It's not the easiest thing to do, but it's not impossible. So I want you to notice a couple of other things too. Down here are these tow hooks. So you'll see the tow hooks right here. There are tow hooks on the front as well that are, you might call actually tow hooks. You might actually call those recovery hooks. And then there is a power outlet here, which of course is for towing, and a tow receptor. But notice these roof panels. So they have this sort of blue coating over them to keep the UV rays out. I did find during my test drive, I thought they were very warm. I'm in Texas, it's early fall, still the days are very hot. And so I found that the UV panels did not really block out all the heat. But you know what you can do with these? You can remove them and drive this car like a convertible. So you just pull these levers here and here and pop the roof panel out. And once you've got it free from the frame, lift it out and put it in the frunk. And now we have convertible driving in the GMC Hummer. But there's one more thing that makes it convertible. And the option for storing those panels is right here in the frunk. So once I've removed a roof panel, which is not all that light, by the way, I can put them in these bags and store them right here in the frunk. And they all will fit right in there. There's a lot of other stuff in there, but they should all stack right in there and fit right in there to make it very easy for driving, for convertible driving. Let's go for an open air convertible drive. Put it in low, because that's where you get the most regen braking. It just feels so weird. Oh, you know what else I can do? I can lower the rear window. And listen to that. If you were driving off-road somewhere, you could have absolutely complete silent driving. It feels so good. Keep it in low for max regen. So I don't know if you can see that, but as I let my foot off the pedal, the car slows a lot. And then if I pull the paddle, the car really just comes to a stop. This is amazing. It's amazing to see a pickup truck do something like this, because usually they have so much power, they keep going, you have to really stop them, but not in the Hummer. The GMC Hummer delivers a lot of fun for every mile. 325 all-electric miles, that is. And it charges pretty fast. It has a lot of great features, and it looks really good. I was very surprised at how much I really like this full-size all-electric pickup truck, but it's ingenious, it's innovative, and it delivers on every promise that it makes for $110,000. That's a lot of money, but you're gonna have that much fun.